Taking smart notes can be the one thing stopping you from being an A+ student. And today I'm going to show you how to take those smart notes and use those smart notes to get the grades that you want to see. Hey, it's Asia here and welcome back to The Purpose of Prep, your one-stop shop for everything study skills, college admissions, and SAT prep. Now, before we get into the method of how to take smarter notes, first we want to talk about choosing our weapon of choice. And by weapon, I mean what you're going to be writing your notes with. So whether that's a laptop, an iPad, or a simple notebook and pen, it doesn't really matter which one you choose. You just want to choose the one that's best for your situation. For example, most schools don't allow technology, some do and some don't. So I would recommend using a notebook and pen if you can't. And if you can use technology, I recommend using an iPad if you have it. If not, you can use a laptop as well. Now, once you've chosen your weapon of note-taking, now we want to talk about how you're going to write your notes. And the method I want you to use is called question-based notes. Question-based notes are very simple. Basically, you take the information you're hearing, form it into a question, and then write the material below to answer that specific question. Now, this is very similar to the Cornell note method. You may have seen it, where you have that column question and then the notes, and then there's like a summary at the bottom. It's very similar to that without all of the block structuring. We like to keep it really simple and really linear over here at The Purpose of Prep because we want the methods to be simple and easily applied to any class that you go to. So question-based notes, you're going to have a question that is very specific to what you're doing, and then the notes answering that specific question underneath. So this note-taking method is going to help you save time and help you effectively understand, memorize, and recall the information in your notes. This method is going to turn your notes into a study resource machine because basically what you'll have is not just notes, but an actual practice test when you prepare for your test later due to the way the notes are structured. So I'm going to show you exactly how to take question-based notes, whether you're doing a more numbers-based class like algebra or calculus, or whether you're doing a more written-based class like science or history or something of that sort. So let's get straight to my desk and I'm going to show you how to write those notes right now. So here we are over on my iPad where I've taken some notes here. Now, of course, this can be easily transferred to just using a regular notebook or pen, or you can use a laptop as well. But I wouldn't recommend a laptop because it would only be usable for more written-based classes like history and science because you would not be able to work out equations on a keyboard very easily. So here, my first demonstration is if you were using something more numbers-based. So first thing is you always want to make sure you have a title. I also recommend having a date. There's no date specific to these notes I wrote, but also date your material up here in the right-hand corner as well. And then all you do is turn everything into a question. So for example here, this lesson is on factoring. So my first question was, how do you factor this quadratic equation when a equals 1? And I have the problem here. And then right underneath it, I show the solving of the problem. So I show that you need to find two numbers that multiply to c and add to b. C is this 8 here, and b is represented this number 6. I show the steps, show the material, and the done. Basically just walking through the problem. It's that simple, but it's so great because once you get to testing day and you're trying to prepare for the test, all you have to do is cover this up, and now you have a study guide. Now you have something where you're actually testing whether or not you can solve these problems. So you'd cover this up, solve it, and then you can check your work once you're done. And this can be applied also to science and history as well. For example here, you see we have US history notes. So the first question is, when was the Gettysburg Address given? And right underneath, I have the date, November 19th, 1863. And then you keep going, and same thing with the math. You can do more than one question. So for this one, my second question was, where was the Gettysburg Address given and by whom? Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and by President Abraham Lincoln. From there, as I said, this becomes a complete study guide because you can cover questions, then check your answers. It works like flashcards or like a mock exam. And this is going to save you time because your notes now serve that purpose. So make sure when you're writing your notes, you use this question-based method, whether it's math, science, history, doesn't matter. And this is going to help you prepare. And specifically when you're doing math, I actually recommend using steps. So here I just put a little note, but you could also do the practice problem and then also write steps. Step number 1. Write out your quadratic equation. Step number 2, find two numbers that do this. So write out the steps as well. The biggest thing about your notes is going to make sure that when you're writing underneath your question for your question-based notes, you focus on examples and steps. This is going to help you memorize and effectively understand how to do different types of problems. I hope you enjoyed that walkthrough of how to take question-based notes. And if you have any questions about this method or how to do it properly, please make sure to comment down below and I'm happy to clarify or even make another video on how to help you take better notes that are going to help you effectively get the grades that you need. And if you want any other different videos, please let me know down in the comments and I'll see you in the next one.